TIFU by accidentally getting my 66-year-old mother high. Disclaimer, happened yesterday but I just realized it qualifies for this thread. Also, long time Reddit stalker, new Reddit poster, so go easy on me. If I don't do it right, I know y'all can be vicious. So I, 29 meters, work at a smoke shop, so it's a safe assumption I smoke weed. This will be relevant in a second. I also live with my 66-year-old mother and take care of her because my father left at an early age, and when we moved to Florida her family disowned her for refusing to join the Church of Scientology. I'll pause and allow you to process that. Anyway, my mom put up with a considerable amount of delinquency from me growing up, and it has somewhat dulled her sense of disappointment in raising a 29-year-old convict who works in a smoke shop. She may not agree with everything I do, but she is supportive and loving even if she doesn't understand me. One of the things we have always shared was a love of cooking. Spending time in the kitchen with my mom has always been a way for us to connect. She strongly dislikes that I smoke, but she tolerates it. We have made edibles together in the kitchen as a way for her to relate and us spend time together. It's always enjoyable, and she gets excited with me when I have a new recipe, even if she doesn't like the fact that it will probably get you high for 2 days. So yesterday I bought a magic butter machine, link, as well as a quarter pounds of mid-high grade cannabis, and I was super excited to make my first batch of tinctures. That said, I only used a rosin bud for 2 cups, 473 milliliters of 190 proof grain alcohol. Still a lot for a 66-year-old woman who hasn't smoked weed since the 70s. Link. My mother was naturally excited for this latest culinary cannabis experiment and wanted to be a part of it. Unfortunately, the machine makes everything very simple and easy, so there wasn't much to do. After decubbing the bud and measuring the correct amounts, it was set to run for 8 hours and good to go. I decided to run it while I was at work, figuring it would be done by the time I got home. Here's where I ducked up. My mother in her naive innocence wanted to help and monitor the process. My dumbass didn't tell her to leave it well enough alone. For those of you who don't know, one of the recipes for a tincture calls for grain alcohol and heat. So my mother decided to check on my project while I was at work, took the lid off, and got a face full of 190 proof heated alcohol infused cannabis fumes. She called me at work, so stoned she couldn't talk, and I had to talk her into her bed. That was at 5 PM in the evening. It's 5 AM and she's still stoned, munching away, trying to collect her thoughts in between fits of giggles, and berating me for getting her baked when she has shit to do today. TL. Doctor, today I ducked up by not warning my 66-year-old mother to leave my edible project alone, and accidentally got her stoned for the foreseeable future according to her. Edit added links and my poor attempt at correct grammar. Edit recipe quantity and proportions for anyone who cares. Edit because it's been brought up so much. 1. Holy shit, this blew up. Thank you for the awards. If I could figure out how to thank you personally, I would. I'm trying to reply to as many comments as possible, but I may not get everyone. 2. This isn't an advertisement. I only bought the damn thing because it was cheap, because I work at a smoke shop. The only reason the damn picture is up is because I included the link and don't know how to take down the picture. Making oils and butter at home is easy. You don't need to buy this. I'm just lazy. 3. My mother is fine. A bit grumpy because it messed her sleep schedule up. But other than that, we both laughed about it, and she enjoyed it so much she asked me to make her some much lower strength butter for her to cook with. Still better than Scientology. My wife once ate a pot brownie because she didn't believe it had pot in it. I warned her as she went to eat one. She thought I was kidding. Even after her cousin and I adamantly said there was a lot of THC in them. After about 30 minutes she realized we were telling the truth. Then proceeded to eat 3 cans of Pringles and sit on the couch trying to do homework with some understanding classmates. I must admit that I always get a kick out of reading accidentally ate inedible stories. More often than not, it's humorous and harmless. Not quite an accidentally ate edibles, but still a good one. Went to an after party, post night out with my cousin and his hockey crew. Get to his friend's house. She brought out brownies. Most of us just have one. Then I look over and my cousin shovels a few down in a row. I think I tilted my head slightly when I noticed. He sees me do this and just goes, "Oh duck." He'd eaten about 6. Forgetting they were wheat brownies because they just tasted so good, he spent the rest of the night watching Silent Simpsons on TV. It was muted. And never made it to his hockey game the next day. The couch had sucked him in. Everyone takes 1 brownie. This dude takes 6. Power move. High five to your mom. My kids returned from a camping trip with some leftover almond butter. Just about 1/2 foot left in the jar. Camping stuff dropped off in the garage. Kids know better as mice get into the garage. So I'll toss any food. I polished off the remainder. You know where this is going. Proceeded to get the riding mower and finish mowing the front yard, about 1 acre. Oh, I was laughing my head off, making crop circles. Back and forth was too boring, so loops with loops were just so fun. Finally, put the mower away, took a shower, and crashed out for a few hours. My wife got home, wondering what the hell I was thinking when she saw the lawn. Found the empty jar and put 2 plus 2 together. Turned out I had eaten 8 doses. First time I had slept that well in years. My brother did a similar thing once. Made a sandwich with some edibles. Left it in the fridge. She ate it innocently. Got high as duck unknowingly and called an ambulance. A kind of high five. This is the most Florida thing I've ever read. You gotta start reading more. This is mild for Florida. Source, Floridian. How to know you had too much internet for today. My brain read, TIFU by accidentally getting my 66-year-old mother pregnant. My brother once gave my nan a joint and told her to only have a little bit. She had the whole thing and felt like she was floating whilst trying to go upstairs. She made it to the 2nd step and had to sit down. The conspiracy theorist in me thinks this is an ad for the magic butter machine. It's easy to make can of butter. You don't need a $200 machine to do it. You and your mother are adorable. I love that you can find a connection in cooking, even if she disapproves of your smoking. Parent goals. Please follow up with an update. Hopefully she's still giggling about it. My S/okay'd my mom an edible before we went strawberry picking one summer. It was funny yet scary. She's in her 70s. She knew what was up. She never mentions it, but she does mention that cookie he bought was yummy. I'm only gonna roast you cause you got mids. Mid-grade hydro homie. My brother is a dumbass when it comes to edibles. He ate 2 at work then had to leave. Hey man. First of all, props to staying away from Scientology or Mayo. Second, this was ducking hilarious. I love that you and your mom share this love for cooking. And she's open to playing with weed, even though she doesn't like you smoking it, as long as you're spending time together. I'm sure she's happy. Hopefully she's not still stoned lol. Op, if you read this comment I want you to know that your style of writing had me ugly cackling. Maybe you should look into stand up or something. Because I was thoroughly entertained. Also, making butters at home is EASY. I tried to make special cookies for the first time a few days ago, and they tasted like shit pancakes. I beg to differ. Adorable backup. Hopefully the giggles lasted, and she was able to enjoy the time without any issues. My mom is also anti-weed, but tolerates my using it. I'm hoping eventually I can ease her into it, if at least just to see how it feels herself, so she can understand why her daughter is a pothead. Lol. Oh man, when you get so high you can't talk. You just sit there mindlessly shoveling food and giggling. I'm envious of your mother. That's a rare experience. I hope you and her can laugh about it once she's completely sobered up lol. Best I accidentally got my relative high story I've read yet. Hopefully she enjoyed it and gets to try some edibles. I've heard positive stories about old people getting hooked on cannabis. Source, a friend of mine is a bartender. Love this story. Your mom sounds super cool. I'm excited you included a pic and link for that machine. I have always wanted to try making my own stuff, but it always seemed/looked difficult. The machine seems like it will make it a lot less intimidating. I'm going to look into getting one too. As it's been pointed out before, the machine isn't necessary. There are plenty of other methods that are only slightly more complicated. You can use a crock pot, double boiler, or as I recently learned, a pressure cooker. The machine just makes it simple and easy. The only downside is that the minimum amount you can make is 2 cups. I wish I could do just single cup batches. I want simple and easy. Lol. I actually looked it up, and it has really good reviews for it. Made me want to get it more. Everyone who tried it seemed like they loved it. Hi for 12 hours. I don't think you realize you gave a bunch of stoners a great/horrible idea. My mother is fine. A bit grumpy because it messed her sleep schedule up. But other than that, we both laughed about it, and she enjoyed it so much she asked me to make her some much lower strength butter for her to cook with, not TIFU, if she wants some more. Awesome story. Your mom's a trooper. XD. My uncles and cousins all smoke, but my aunt don't. One day she saw us passing a blunt and said something like, "Oh, so you're smoking cigars now?" I sarcastically said, "Sure. Want some?" and held it out, and she took it and puffed it. Because she thought it was actually a cigar. Lol. It happened so fast I couldn't stop her, and it was only one puff. So we had a good laugh about it. Munching away. Oh gosh, this is adorable. I hope she is okay now though. Not the same, but I remember my cousins accidentally getting my nan drunk on Skittles vodka at a family BBQ. I think she just thought it was just punch or something. We only noticed she was pissed when she somehow fell out of the garden chair she was already sat in. But boy, oh boy, she was happy as a clam. Did anyone else think of that 70s show where Kitty and Red accidentally get high? Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.